Got the Jeep on the lift for the first time ever. Just checking it out. All the wheels seem to be in good shape as far as bearings. Like there's no play or anything. They all turn freely. The front brake pads are like probably at 20%, but the rear ones are like at 5% left. So most likely we'll be changing the all rotors and pads all around. This right here looks awesome. That's my favorite part. Wish I could just cut that out or something. Or oh, that's the shield that just removes. I'll probably just remove it completely. Is that the gas tank over there? That looks like the gas tank's up there. That's not good. So I'll have to think of a shield or something, or just get a new one of these. I wanted to weld up the exhaust because this thing is so loud and annoying right now. But I don't think I can do it. I can't do it on the car. I'd have to remove it, and it's like all one piece. So I won't be able to get it welded here at the shop. I'll just take it to a muffler shop eventually and get it welded. This clamp here is just falling off, rusted through. The transmission pan has quite a bit of rust on it. I mean, this whole thing is rusted, but surprisingly, I mean, it drives decent. Like all the axles look like they're in good shape, front and rear. The only crazy thing that I see is on the rear axle, whatever this Y shape bracket is, the bushings on it are completely gone, and that's why the whole rear end is like swaying back and forth. They're just completely tore up. Like they're not doing anything. They're just dangling there. Same thing on both sides. That's crazy, but it's no big deal. I think I could probably get that whole Y bracket new, probably pretty cheap. And so that sucks that I can't do anything here with the exhaust. I was hoping to get it welded so it doesn't sound like a tractor, especially in the morning when I start it. It's annoying. But the drive shafts, they look like they're in good shape. There's no extra play or anything. This is so small. It's crazy. Probably a good idea to replace the shocks, all 4 shocks, which I will be doing because I think I'm gonna get that 3-inch lift, just because they're pretty cheap and they come with the shocks, which is nice. So I'll just do that, because either I buy 4 shocks or I buy 4 shocks and a 3-inch lift. It's about the same price, so it makes sense just to go ahead and lift it 3 inches. One of the things I will change right now is a speed sensor on this front right side. I scanned the Jeep when I first got it, and the ABS light is on, and I had a code for right front speed sensor, so I'm hoping I can just replace it and that code will go away. Let's do it. So I've got the passenger side ABS sensor out. That's the new one right there, and that's the old one. They're identical. I got it off Amazon for like 20 bucks or less. And it looks like it's in good shape, but I guess it failed on the inside. And it's pretty easy to remove. It's just the 8mm bolt right there. And it just routes pretty much right next to the brake line into the clips going along with the brake line. So very easy to change. hopefully it takes care of the ABS light. The ABS light went away on its own just by replacing the front right speed sensor, which is nice. I didn't even have to clear the codes. The light just went away, so that's the good news. These are the tires that I got for it. They're huge, and I'm not sure if they will fit or not, but I will attempt to put them on without the lift, and then if it rubs, then either way I'm getting that 3-inch lift. So that'll be it, but it's gonna look interesting. And the tire size is 265 75 16, and the original size I believe is 245 70 16. So this will be a pretty big difference. And because these tires are used and worn to like 40% tread left, I might be able to run them as is without the lift, but it will be very close. So I'm gonna try to put them on tomorrow, because as you can see, the front left tire is very bald and it's sketchy driving it in the rain. So I'm gonna put those tires on and see what it looks like tomorrow. Man, this thing is so loud. I'm going to a muffler shop to see if they can get me welded up. The muffler's kind of rusted, but I think if they just weld it back on, it'll be quieter, at least for now. Let's see if we can get this welded. This thing actually drives pretty smooth on the highway. I'm going 75 miles an hour. Nothing is shaking. So overall, the suspension's not in bad shape. I think the shocks might even be working still. The only thing I think it needs, like urgent, is brakes all around. But it's so annoyingly loud right now. It's crazy. Hopefully we'll get that fixed right now. Man, this place is closed until Monday for some reason. Most likely because of COVID, but I'll see if I can find another place. If not, then Monday it is. So this here is a rear upper control arm that holds the axle in place. When I drive and turn, the whole rear seems like it's shifted left and right, and turns out these bushings here are completely ripped out. So there's like so much play. Also, there's a ball joint here that was loose. And yeah, on both sides, pretty much like a pencil in a cup. Where the new one here is completely solid, it has no play at all, and also came with the new ball joint, which is nice. It wasn't hard to remove, but the bolts were rusted, so I sprayed some PB Blaster and the bolts came right out. Nothing broke. I'm doing this in my driveway at home, just on some ramps, so it's nothing crazy. And there were a few bolts holding like the brake lines and stuff, which will be put back in place, but the new one here doesn't have any threads in the holes, so I'm guessing I'm just gonna run the bolts in and it'll make its own threads. I don't really feel like cutting threads right now, so let's get this piece on and hopefully the Jeep will drive in a straight line. This is where it bolts up to, so that ball joint goes up here on top of the differential in the rear, and one side goes here and the other side has a bracket on this side. So let's pop this thing in. This is the brake lines I was talking about. They just bolt up to the control arm. Alright, well, this Jeep is pretty rusted here. Look at that. Yep. Alright, let's get this piece in. Yeah, so I accidentally hit the brake line and it just fell apart, and it's so fragile that every time I touched it, it just kept falling apart more and more. So what I did was I trimmed it to where it's still solid and not rusted, and I'm hoping I can get a piece from like an auto parts store that I can just connect to my line and bleed the brakes and be good to go. Went to O'Reilly's and picked up a brake line and a compression fitting, just so I don't have to replace the whole brake line. I basically cut it to where it was still solid and then put a compression fitting and connected the new one to it, and then just bent it into place and connected it to the brake hose over here. So basically what I did was I bought like 4 feet of brake line that comes with these connectors on the ends already, which is the same connector that's on your car currently, and I just cut it to length, and then there's a compression fitting that goes on here. Basically you put the nut on and then this little guy on, and then just tying them together, and it compresses this piece and your brake fluid doesn't leak. It's a pretty cool system if you don't want to change the whole brake line, and I don't think you can even buy the whole brake line for especially older car because they're so long and nobody wants to ship them. So this is a solution here. restored headlights. New windshield. And a stereo. Not bad.